You ever notice how your feelings always show up right when you're weakest? One moment of fear, and you walk away from opportunities that were meant to change your life. One drop of guilt, and suddenly you're apologizing for things you didn't do. One spark of anger, and people learn exactly how to control you. Nobody told you this. Growing up, your father didn't know it, your teachers didn't understand it, and society never wanted you to figure it out. Your emotions were the first weapon the world used against you, because the moment someone can predict how you feel, they can predict what you'll do. And once they can predict what you'll do, they can quietly dominate your entire life. Before we go any further, do this: quickly subscribe, because nothing I'm about to teach you will matter if your emotions keep ruling your decisions instead of your strategy. Here's the truth your feelings never show you. Emotions are ancient alarms, not instructions. They were built for survival, not success. Fear kept early men alive. Now it keeps modern men small. Guilt once kept the tribe unified. Now it chains you to people who drain you. Anger once prepared you for battle. Now it drags you into traps set by people who know exactly how to provoke you. Your feelings are echoes of a world you no longer live in. But here's where it gets darker. The world doesn't need to overpower you. It only needs to trigger you. The co-worker who makes a sly comment, he's not talking, he's probing. The ex who sends a sudden message, she's not reconnecting, she's testing control. The friend who jokes at your expense in public, he's checking if the old emotional version of you is still alive. And the moment you react even slightly, you confirm their power. Machiavelli said, "The man who controls himself controls everything." And he was right, because the first battlefield is not the world, it's your own mind. And right now, you're stepping onto that battlefield with a weapon no one expects. But before you learn to control your emotions, you must understand why they were designed to control you first. Your emotions were never built to help you dominate life. They were built to help you survive danger that no longer exists. That's why the strongest men fall into the same trap. They confuse emotional intensity for truth. But your feelings don't reveal truth. They reveal conditioning. They reveal wounds. They reveal patterns from childhood that you never questioned. Think about it. How many decisions have you made that weren't yours, but were simply reactions to fear you inherited? How many opportunities did you avoid because the feeling of unworthiness whispered louder than logic? How many times did you stay silent because your emotions convinced you that conflict was dangerous, even when silence was the real danger? This is where the real manipulation happens. People don't control you by force. They control you by triggering the feelings you've never learned to master. A guilt trip from someone you care about can freeze your spine. A disappointed look can redirect your choices. A subtle insult can force you into proving yourself. A moment of loneliness can drag you back to someone who broke you. And here's the darkest part. Most people who manipulate you don't even realize they're doing it. They just know what works on you because you've reacted the same way your entire life. This is why emotional men lose. They are readable, they are predictable, they are programmable, and predictable men become pawns long before they realize a game was even being played. The world does not fear a man who feels deeply. The world fears a man who can feel without collapsing. A man who can experience emotion without obeying it. A man who can stand inside chaos and not flinch. Machiavelli warned, "Men are guided more by appearance than reality. Your emotions create the appearance. Your strategy determines the reality." And for the first time in your life, you're learning to separate the two. Because once you understand the origin of your emotions, you can begin the real transformation. Replacing instinct with intention. Intention is the moment you stop letting your emotions drag you like a leash and start using them as information, not commands. And this is where most men collapse. They think emotional control means feeling nothing. That's wrong. Emotional control means not obeying the first feeling that shows up. The first feeling is always the weakest version of you. The wounded version, the panicked version, the version shaped by childhood fears and old insecurities, the version your enemies hope you operate from. Think about the last time someone insulted you. Your chest tightened, your ego flared, your body heated. That wasn't strength, that was programming. The insult wasn't the trigger. Your untrained emotions were. Imagine instead if you paused, observed, analyzed. Imagine if the insult didn't move you an inch. The power dynamic would flip instantly, because the one who stays still becomes the one who stays in control. This is how silent men dominate rooms. They don't react when everyone else does. Here's the truth. Your emotions don't want to protect you. They want to comfort you. But comfort is the enemy of dominance. Comfort makes you retreat from challenges. Comfort makes you avoid conflict. Comfort makes you surrender opportunities disguised as discomfort. Machiavelli said, "The wise man does at once what the fool does eventually." And emotional men are always late to realize manipulation, late to leave toxic situations, late to take action, late to see their own potential. So here is your next shift. When a feeling rises, don't move, don't decide, don't respond. Let the wave pass. What remains afterward is your real mind, colder, clearer, sharper. That version of you is the strategist. That version of you thinks long-term. That version of you makes moves that change your life instead of maintaining your fears. This is where emotional mastery begins, not in removing emotion, but in delaying obedience to it. Because the moment you create space between feeling and action, the world loses its ability to control you. And now that you've learned to pause, it's time to learn how to redirect your emotions into something far more dangerous. Calculated power. Calculated power begins the moment you stop asking, "How do I feel right now?" and start asking, "What outcome do I want?" Emotional men choose based on the present. Strategic men choose based on the future. This is the shift that separates ordinary minds from dominant ones. Because every feeling you have pulls you inward into memory, trauma, fear. But every intention you set pulls you outward into strategy, clarity, advantage. The man who follows emotion becomes a slave to his past. The man who follows intention becomes the architect of his future. Look at the patterns in your life. When you felt angry, you said things that weakened you. When you felt anxious, you avoided opportunities. When you felt lonely, you returned to people unworthy of you. When you felt guilty, you gave energy you didn't have. These were not decisions. They were emotional reflexes masquerading as choices. And manipulators know this. They don't need strength to control you. They only need to trigger the right feeling at the right time. But imagine this instead. Someone tries to provoke you, and nothing happens. Someone tries to guilt you, and you stay calm. Someone tries to pressure you, and you remain immovable. Your emotional silence becomes psychological pressure. Your lack of reaction becomes intimidation. Your stillness becomes dominance. Machiavelli understood this when he wrote, "A prince must learn how not to be good." He meant a leader must act on strategy, not emotion, not on what feels good, but on what achieves results. From now on, every emotion becomes a signal, not a steering wheel. Anger signals a boundary. Fear signals preparation. Sadness signals reflection. Desire signals caution. But none of these signals tell you how to act. They only tell you what to observe. You decide the action based on calculation, not impulse. This is how powerful men operate. They don't rise because they feel strong. They rise because they act strong, even when feelings betray them. And now that you're learning calculated power, there is a deeper layer waiting for you. The art of emotional invisibility. Emotional invisibility is not about hiding what you feel. It's about making sure no one can read what you feel. Because the moment someone can read you, they can move you. They can guilt you, shame you, provoke you, flatter you, or confuse you. People don't need power when they have access to your emotional dashboard. Emotional invisibility removes that access. It makes every reaction a mystery, every thought a question mark, every move an unpredictable shift. And when people can't predict you, they can't manipulate you. Think about the most respected people you've met. They speak less, they react less, they reveal less. Not because they're empty, but because they're disciplined. You never know if they're angry or calm, pleased or disappointed, threatened or unbothered. That uncertainty creates gravity. It makes people approach them more carefully, more respectfully, more thoughtfully. In a world addicted to emotional oversharing, a man who reveals nothing becomes a psychological anomaly. This is why Machiavelli said, "Appear as you are not." Not meaning to live dishonestly, but to protect your inner world from hands that haven't earned access. Emotional invisibility means your face doesn't betray your thoughts. Your voice doesn't reveal your insecurity. Your posture doesn't broadcast your panic. You move like someone whose mind cannot be guessed, whose heart cannot be touched without permission. Picture a scenario. Someone insults you in front of others. Most men rush to defend themselves, to prove something, to show they're not weak. But a man with emotional invisibility does nothing. He looks, assesses, stays silent. The room becomes uncomfortable. The insulter becomes nervous. People start questioning who truly holds the power. That silence is more lethal than any angry reaction, because silence forces others to confront their own insecurity while revealing none of yours. Emotional invisibility is a shield, but it's also a weapon. It denies others the ability to anticipate your moves. It denies them the satisfaction of seeing you react. It denies them the comfort of reading you like an open book. And once your emotions vanish from the surface, the world loses its grip on your strings. Now that you can hide your emotions, it's time to learn how to weaponize your calm. Weaponized calm is not passive. It is not gentle. It is not softness disguised as patience. Weaponized calm is the psychological equivalent of standing in a burning room and breathing like nothing can touch you. It is the state where your stillness becomes a threat. Because when everyone else reacts, panics, argues, defends, explains, you remain unmoved. And nothing unsettles the world more than a man who refuses to be emotionally steered. Here's the truth. People expect you to crack. They expect you to defend yourself when attacked. They expect you to chase when someone pulls away. They expect you to panic when plans collapse. They expect you to explain yourself when questioned. And when you don't, they lose their script. Their confidence drops. Their control weakens. Their power evaporates. Imagine this scenario. Someone tries to embarrass you in front of others. They wait for your anger, your defensiveness, your shake in the voice. Instead, you look at them calmly, almost studying them, and say nothing. They expected fire. You gave them stone. That mismatch shatters their confidence. It exposes their insecurity. It forces everyone watching to reassess who the real threat in the room is. This is weaponized calm. Not reacting, not explaining, not matching their energy. Simply holding your ground with eyes that say, "You can't move me." Machiavelli understood this when he wrote, "The lion cannot protect himself from traps," meaning force alone is not enough. Emotional men use only the lion. Strategic men use the fox and the lion. Calm calculation paired with decisive action. Weaponized calm gives you the fox. When someone pulls emotional strings, you don't twitch. When someone pressures you, you don't fold. When someone tests you, you don't flinch. Your calm becomes a mirror that reflects their weakness, not yours. And soon, People stop provoking you not because they respect you, but because your unreadable stillness makes them question their own strength. Now that you've learned to weaponize calm, the next step is far more dangerous. Detaching from the opinions that once controlled you. Detachment from opinions is the moment a man becomes untouchable, because as long as you depend on approval, you are owned by the people who can withhold it. Most men never escape this trap. They live their entire lives shaped by fear. Fear of disappointing family, fear of being judged by friends, fear of being misunderstood by strangers, fear of being disliked by anyone, and that fear chains them more tightly than any cage ever could. But here's the truth. The opinions that control you were never rooted in reality. They were reflections of other people's insecurities, expectations, and limitations. Imagine making every decision based on one question: what aligns with my mission? Instead of, what will they think? The difference is seismic. When you detach from opinions, you stop moving like prey. You stop adjusting yourself to please people who don't carry your consequences. You stop bending to beliefs that were never yours. And suddenly, every choice becomes cleaner, sharper, freer. This is why so many people collapse when they try to rise. Their feelings beg for external validation. Their emotions demand applause. Their ego wants reassurance. And in that hunger, they become manipulable. Someone disapproves, and they shrink. Someone gossips, and they hesitate. Someone criticizes, and they crumble. But a man who detaches becomes immune. A man who detaches becomes unpredictable. A man who detaches becomes someone the world cannot sway with words. Machiavelli wrote, "The great majority are satisfied with appearances," meaning most people care only about how things look. They never grasp the substance. When you detach from appearances, you instantly rise above them. Your actions stop being emotional reactions and become strategic moves. Your silence stops being insecurity and becomes presence. Your choices stop being influenced by noise and start being shaped by purpose. Detachment is not coldness. Detachment is clarity. It is the ability to hear opinions without being commanded by them, to face judgment without bending to it, to stand alone without collapsing. And once you master detachment, you unlock something far more powerful: the ability to choose yourself without hesitation. Choosing yourself is the moment your life splits into two timelines: the man you were trained to be and the man you were meant to become. Most men never choose themselves. They choose comfort. They choose familiarity. They choose the approval of people who wouldn't survive a single day carrying their burdens. And because of that, they stay stuck in identities built by fear instead of ambition. But choosing yourself means you stop waiting for permission. You stop apologizing for your hunger. You stop shrinking your potential to keep others comfortable. You've seen this in your own life. Every time you hesitated, your feelings whispered excuses. What if it fails? What will they say? What if you're not ready? Those were not warnings, they were chains. Emotional chains disguised as caution. And every time you obeyed them, you strengthened them. Choosing yourself means breaking those chains, even when your feelings scream. Especially when your feelings scream. Here's the paradox. People admire the man who chooses himself, but they punish him for it too. They call him selfish, arrogant, distant, changed. But what they really mean is this: you are no longer controllable. Because when a man prioritizes his mission over others' expectations, he becomes a threat to every relationship built on his submission. Machiavelli hinted at this when he said, "A wise man must always follow the path of his own making," meaning your direction cannot be borrowed, your purpose cannot be inherited, your destiny cannot be outsourced. Choosing yourself forces you to take responsibility for every step forward. It's terrifying, But it's also the birthplace of power. Once you choose yourself, everything shifts. Your voice deepens because certainty does that. Your presence sharpens because clarity does that. Your relationships purify because boundaries do that. And your emotions lose authority because you've stopped allowing them to vote on your future. This is the version of you the world can no longer predict. And once you become unpredictable, the next phase begins. Learning to make your mind sharper than your feelings. A sharp mind begins where emotional obedience ends. Because the moment you stop letting feelings dictate your actions, your intellect finally wakes up. Most men never experience their true intelligence because their emotions interrupt every strategic thought. They can't plan because anxiety hijacks their focus. They can't make decisions because fear clouds their judgment. They can't walk away because guilt chains their feet. They can't rise because comfort sedates their ambition. A man's mind cannot sharpen if his emotions keep dulling the blade. Your greatest breakthroughs will come in the moments you feel the strongest emotions, yet do nothing. That pause is where clarity forms. That pause is where logic returns. That pause is where the mind takes command. This is why emotional control multiplies intelligence. It gives your brain space to see the bigger map, the consequences, the angles, the motives, the traps. Imagine walking into a negotiation. They expect you to be nervous. They expect your voice to shake, your mind to scramble. But you're calm, you're quiet, your feelings are muted. Suddenly you see everything: their fear, their desperation, their hidden motives. You read the room while they try to read you. Machiavelli said, "He who is master of his fear is master of others." Your calm becomes intellect. Your intellect becomes leverage. This is why emotionally reactive men remain average. Their mind collapses under pressure because they never learned to separate feeling from thinking. But you're learning the opposite. You're learning to let emotion rise without letting it rule. You're learning to think cold while feeling heat. You're learning to analyze instead of panic. And once your mind becomes sharper than your feelings, you become someone the world struggles to predict and therefore struggles to control. People will sense something different in you. Your decisions will seem calculated. Your silence will feel intentional. Your presence will grow heavier. Your logic will outmaneuver their emotional traps. But a sharp mind isn't the final evolution. There's one more transformation: the transition from emotional survival to emotional sovereignty. Emotional sovereignty is the highest form of power a man can reach. It means nothing inside you can be hijacked. It means